Hello, basketball fans. Welcome to Centennial College on the East Side for the Rumble in the T-Dot, a Phase 1 production featuring some of the best women's high school basketball players in the country. Lance Wynn alongside Dana McKeel and Sandra Hamilton. Always glad to have you along with us here on the Rogers Television Network. Now, the high school season has come and gone, and now it's time for the young ballers to set their sights on the future while working hard to improve their game during the summer months. Now, it also marks a busy time for coaches, scouts, and recruiters as they get a chance to see prospects perform on a different stage in front of a tougher, more critical audience on a team filled with all-stars. With a more in-depth look at today's game, let's send it courtside now to Dana and Sandra.
Thanks very much, Lance and Sandra. Right off the bat, we always enjoy coming out to these events, always excitement, and you rest assured that there's a lot of scouts and a lot of coaches here looking at all the talent. And there's a wealth of talent here.
Yes, there is, and including the national team coach, which is very impressive.
And we're looking at the two teams competing today, Rumble East versus Rumble West. You have to love the way Phase 1 puts it out. And first we're looking at Rumble East. Nia Daly, a woman that you had a chance to talk to pregame, and just what is she all about?
Yes, Dana, I had a chance to talk to her. She's going to a prep school right now in North Carolina, and they recently had a tournament, and they won nationals, and she won the All-Star. She was an All-Star in the tournament, so it's pretty good. That's in the States.
And looking quickly at the Rumble West team, we have two players in particular, Tashana Higgins and Stephanie Skirba, who captured an award last night as the Miss Women's Basketball, Miss Women's Canada Basketball, which is a nice award to get, and she's on her way to Michigan.
That's right, and she's a tough player, and she's going to bring a lot of excitement in here today.
Tashana Higgins brings 50 points a game to this broadcast as well. She's had two.
In two games, incidentally.
We've got to love that. Let's go back to Lance Wynn for more action right now. Go ahead, Lance.
Thanks very much, guys. If you haven't followed high school basketball in the GTA, particularly women's, you're certainly in for a treat today. We've got plenty of basketball action, and at halftime, I want you to stick around. We'll have NBA basketball analyst Sherman Hamilton. We'll also have organizer Wayne Dawkins here, so make sure you stay tuned for that. There's lots more, including the opening tip when we come back after this short message. Don't go away. Welcome back to Centennial College, the Progress Campus, for our Rumble in the T-Dot. The women's side getting ready to tip things off on the hardwood, so let's send it now courtside to Dana and Sandra.
Thanks very much, Lance, as we get all warmed up and ready to go. And Sandra, we've seen a lot of all-star games over our years here in Toronto and across Ontario, across Canada for that matter. And certainly the wealth of talent that has shown up this year makes a statement about where women's basketball is going.
Yes, it's incredible. We have girls coming all across Canada. We have one that came from the States. We have one that's Quebec. We got one, another one from Ottawa.
Yep.
And the talent here is incredible. It's going to be a very, very exciting game.
One of the things leading up to this women's basketball game was the amount of talent that declared they were going to play in the game. And first and foremost, Stephanie Skirba. We had talked about her leading up to the banquet last night, and the fact that she was named as Miss Canada Basketball. She's got the scholarship. She's going to Michigan.
She's got the brains, yep.
Oh, yeah, and you want to elaborate on that as well with the fact that she's a piano player, too.
That's right. She knows classical piano.
Yep.
Her talent is endless.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. There's no question about it. She brings a lot to the table. And the reason that she chose Michigan was because of its academic standing and the fact that it certainly matches up with what she wants to do in regards to business and languages.
That's right, and that's so important for the young students to know that they should not be going there just because the team is number one, but you got to go there to match your academics with the athletics, and everything else falls right into place.
That seemed to be the case with the banquet and the fact that in choosing the players that won awards, that they had to also match up academically as well, which is great to see because club basketball, a lot of times, you know, it's about the players and they're showing up to play club basketball. There's no emphasis on the educational aspect of it. With Phase 1 and with the owner, founder, director of operations, Wayne Dawkins, emphasizing the fact that academics come into play as well. And he should know he's a school teacher at West Hill Collegiate.
That's right, and you can't just be a phenomenal basketball player. You need to have the smarts. You need to study. You need to get down with what is so important.
And certainly the case. And as it leads right into another player that's very important as well, Tashana Higgins, who's also playing with the girls Rumble West team. And you can't say enough about a girl that had two 50-point games coming
That's
into this
incredible.
event over the course of the season, playing with Nelson A. Boylan Collegiate in Toronto.
Dana, what was your highest scoring point game?
You really know how to put me on the spot, don't you? Are we talking a high school game, or are we talking media basketball team?
Oh, we can go to elementary if you need to.
Oh, we may have to. Needless to say that I'll tell you, Tashana Higgins, in the play that she had last year and was able to play with the girls all-star team last year against Michigan, and then this year to be able to play with this lineup and coming into this game makes a statement about where Tashana Higgins is going with her career.
Yeah, she's also she's also had 2 All-Stars in the past 2 years.
Exactly. Yeah. And we're also looking at the Girls Rumble East team, and we talked about Nia Daly. Let's talk about some of the other players as well. We've got Crystal Pinnock in the lineup, Nikita Lafleur, Marianne Hussein as well. There's a good look at Nia Daly right there. 14 points per game average, 5 assists. You can't go wrong with averages like that.
Yeah, and she's doing the prep school thing in the United States, so that's good for her that she's very cognizant of her studies, and also the basketball team is good. So that's a really good example of the balance.
And also looking at the fact that she was out here earlier in a shoot-around and in a shooting competition, and she's got great form. There's no question about it. When it comes to the fundamentals of the game, Nia Daly's right there.
Mm-hmm. Well, you know what? That takes a lot of practice. That's a lot of hours and hours spent in the gym trying to perfect that shot.
And as we look at getting ready for the starting lineups, and to this point, they had not declared who those starting lineups were going to be.
Should we make a fantasy team?
We can make a fantasy team, and but we're going to wait for the coaches to declare who they are. First, the coach for the Girls Rumble East team is Derek Edwards. He's from A-Game Recruiting Service. And from the Girls Rumble West team, it's John Dakin, who won an award last night. John being from Governor Simcoe High School in St. Catharines, Ontario. And he won an award. There's a good look at, it was Marianne Hussein that we were talking about there, but some of the fans in the audience watching, getting set to watch this game. But John Dakin, Governor Simcoe head coach, and he's come in here today to take part in the festivities, and he won an award for his overall performance and coaching a very good Governor Simcoe team. Simple as that. As we see the peripheral surroundings here at Centennial College and the Progress campus, we get underway. The officials for tonight's game will be Andrea Beneteau and the one, the only, Mary Nelia, and we only go with the best here on Rogers Television. Those are 2 of the best.
That's right, Dana. Now, I would like to say that the stands are packed. It is standing room only.
You can't go wrong. As a matter of fact, when we walked into the building, we came through the back entrance, but I walked out front. There was a lineup. There was a lineup that was going pretty deep. So there could be people still waiting out there. They may have to put cameras outside or monitors outside to watch this event, because there are an awful lot of people here who have packed into the gymnasium. They may have to look at it right now. They may have to look at moving this event to a bigger venue simply because of popularity of this event.
Yeah, and earlier Leo Routens was here, the national team men's coach.
And he'll be back to check out the premier event as well. And we will be looking at what's going on at halftime. Lance Wynn will have an interview as well with Sherman Hamilton, who is with Raptors NBA TV. Sherman, formerly of the Canadian national team, currently with the Toronto Sport Media basketball team as well.
Well, I haven't seen him yet, and,
no.
And he better not be taking my lineup position.
As a matter of fact, there is discussions about that right now, Sandra, as we speak. But
don't let Lance hear.
We see the lineup coming out, and there's one player that we want to key in on as well. She was picked as one of the top passers in women's basketball, Tanya Walters. Now, they list her at 5'3". Sandra, give me the goods.
We're here, Dana. She does not look like she's anything over 4'9".
As a matter of fact, if we can get another look at Tanya Walters, there she is. I doubt very much she's past 4'10", and she's out there with all the trees in the lineup. Look at that, my gosh. Looks like Muggsy Bogues out there with the Toronto Raptors back from 1999.
Let's see, I can't wait to see her play.
And they're going to introduce the Rumble East lineup, and this lineup's very talented. One thing about the Rumble West lineup before we forget, the fact that they are missing one player, Tamika Nurse, player who won an award last night. She was picked as Miss Basketball Ontario and is now going to the University of Oregon. She'll be playing out there for Bev Smith and company. Bev Smith being the former Canadian national women's coach. And Tamika Nurse played at St. Thomas More Secondary School. Very, very good player.
Yeah, that's unfortunate that she can't make it in tonight. And Dana, I'd like to say that this is such a fantastic event for women. It's just, when back in the day when I was playing, they didn't have like opportunities like this for us, you know?
No.
And I'm hoping that the women's national team coach could be here tonight to see all this talent, because these are the talents that they need to be looking for to advance the Canadian national team.
And how they handle this game tonight will certainly resonate to the coaches and to the scouts and the people at Canada Basketball, many of whom are in the audience today. And we're looking at players like, or people like Greg Francis and Leo Routens, as we had mentioned earlier, and also some of the other developmental coaches who are in the audience and watching what is going on among some of the many talented women who are here. Good look at all the talent coming out. We're looking at Marianne Hussein, Tanisha Smith, Lacey McNulty, Nikki Lee, Nia Daly, Monique Webley, as well as Stephanie Anik Charles, Melanie Ouellette, Crystal Pinnock, Sam Nuttall, and Nikita Lafleur. That will be the lineup for the girls East team. The girls West team includes Julia Unfunge, and I hope I say that correctly, because we went over this about 15 times with our linguistics people, and believe me, it was still a challenge for everybody. Chanel Jones Dellis, who is the daughter of Willie Dellis, well-known basketball player here in these parts. Dominica Whitaker, Samantha Skull, Stephanie Skirba, Brianne Osmock, Lisa Furchner, Julia Finley, Jen Knowles, Tashana Higgins, Tanya Walters, Danielle Williams. That will be the complete lineup for the girls Rumble West team. As you can see, they're very excited about being in the audience and watching this all-star event.
We even have center court seats.
There's no question. When we come out to cover these events, we demand that we be front and center. If we're going to be putting out a good product, then we're right there. And there's a good look at the girls who will be competing for the Rumble East team. Another good look at them. And they're just getting organized with their score sheets and getting organized administratively here in the building as we get underway. And as they do that, Sandra, and they get organized administratively, then we can certainly comment on women's basketball, because anytime we talk about women's basketball, we always go back to the days of Sylvia Sweeney. We go back to the days of
fabulous basketball player,
unbelievable player out of Concordia University, who is at one point selected as one of the top 5 women's basketball players in the world. And she certainly still is an emblem with Canadian basketball, and inducted into the Canada Basketball Hall of Fame.
She was my idol growing up. I loved to watch her. Next to my sister, of course.
Yeah, and that brings me to your sister and the fact that the late Carol Hamilton was not able to proceed any further with her career. Right. She passed away a couple of years ago. Sandra, you and I right there front and center on that. And it's unfortunate, but during her day, was she phenomenal. Yeah. Phenomenal basketball player.
She had tryouts with the Houston Comets, and she also had tryouts with the LA Sparks in their glory days. So she was doing well.
Oh yeah, Van Chancellor had a great conversation with Van Chancellor and the Houston Comets at the time to arrange for that event, as well had a great chance to talk to Michael Cooper and Orlando Woolridge about coming out to play with the Los Angeles team. As we get underway and set, there's the lineup that's come out to play. Lafleur will take the jump for the East team. And there's Skirba for the West, and the tip-off will go to the West team, and going right down the middle, right off the bat, Skull off the board.
Left hand. Oh.
And right off the bat, the West is coming out here. There's Tashana Higgins, 2 off the glass. And you gotta love the way Tashana Higgins puts it out on the floor. She plays in the 2 spot. Walters will be in the 1 spot for the West team. Hussein. And right off the bat, there's a steal on the play. And again, Higgins will run the show. Walters. She's got the ball. Must mean something to have a tattoo on your arm. And look again, Skull putting it up. She's big, she's strong. She'll put it down for you in no time at all in the paint.
The West is sparing no time. They're just getting right into this game.
Samantha Skull going up to the glass and missing on the play.
You don't see any plays being run right now, and it's really difficult thing to be running plays right now when you haven't been able to practice with the girls at a long length or at all. I'm not even sure how much practice they've had.
Samantha Hussein in there for the East team. She's number 3 in the lineup, number 1 in your heart. Natal in there as well, playing in the guard position. Here's Walters. We've got a good lineup out there for the West team. It's a very balanced lineup. Here's Jones Dellis.
And it's great to see the big men they have their hands up, because asking for the ball, it's so important when you're posting up in the court that the guards can see hands in the air, because this is an indication to them that they're ready. Give me the ball.
Unbelievable. That was a beautiful 3. All of a sudden, it's 4-3 for the West. Here's Skirba. She goes up with the shot. She puts it up. She's strong.
A sweet jumper.
Got to mention a couple of things about the parents. They were at the banquet as well to identify that George Skirba is the father of Stephanie Skirba. There was a nice pass. Skirba comes down with the block.
It was a beautiful pass.
Stephanie Skirba, the daughter of George Skirba, one-time York University basketball player, also played his high school ball at West Humber. And Sherry Dawn Jones, as well as Willie Dellis, the parents of Chanel Jones Dellis.
That's right, Chanel.
Just wanted to get that straight, or both parents will crucify me.
And Willie known as Willie D.
Willie D.
Also known as Willie D. We're talking about the same one.
Yeah, exactly. As we see a foul on the play. Daly going to the line. She'll shoot 2. Shooting foul. That'll be the first personal foul.
If you can see her follow through, she needs to follow through with her hand straight pointing to the hoop. You see her hand go kind of to the side. That'll throw your shot off.
6-4 in favor of the West team. And the crowd still filing into the building as we watch all the action here on the floor. Hussein will run the offense.
And West hasn't really had to set up an offense. They've been just doing all fast break and one pass, but they've been doing a good job at it.
And the West has gone to a body defense half court. Skirba almost came down with the rebound. It was Skull with it. And here's Jones Dellis going to the rack. She puts it up off the glass. There's 2.
Another fast break, just as I was saying. They're spending no time. They're seeing an open player and they're passing it up very quickly.
Daly with an air ball. On the play, Skirba came down with the ball, and she had 3 players filling the lanes ready to go on the fast break.
That's right. And I was just going to say that the East is going to have to start noticing that they're filling in the positions, running the fast break, or else it's going to kill them.
Looking at Stephanie Skirba and the fact that she had over 120 scholarship offers, and that includes some big-time schools, including Stanford. Excellent women's basketball program out at the Pac-10 in the West Coast, but she opted to go with Michigan. Here's Nuttall. And she lost it. She ran into a wall in Skull, and here comes Jones Dellis. She's got the ball. Walters, she'll put it up. All 4 feet, 10 inches of her.
Here we go, 4-9.
Ball goes out of bounds, and it will be East ball. They'll inbound. Strong competition out on the floor, Sandra.
It's excellent. I'm really excited to see how the competition level is.
Hussein, down low post.
Nice spin move.
A beautiful block by Skirba, and here comes Jones Dellis on the break again. She'll go, put it up. That 15-foot jumper drops for 2. All of a sudden, it's 8-4 for the West team.
West is running really fast-paced game.
Now 10-4.
Really good to see.
Hassan, good matchup against Walters. Walters, great on the transition defense. Walters also very good on the perimeter defense as she was able to trade off her player and pick up the next player with the ball. And we're going to see substitution.
And
New players.
Sorry,
Sandra, go ahead.
And to be able to do just take a player like that usually takes team cohesion. So for her to do that and just replace a player, that's good. That's really good insight of basketball.
That was a nice shot by Jones Dellis.
Oh, she left her shorts on the court.
Look out! Hassan drops it. That was a 2. 10-6 in favor of the West squad. New players in the lineup for the West. Finley in there as well as Williams. Expungane is in there as well. No question, Filipino descent on that last name. Strong rebound.
That's good. She saw the inside to pass the ball up to a guard.
Here's Williams on the play. Danielle Williams. Hassan. Look out! Look out!
Ooh, I'll take a cherry on top of that.
She means business. She walked around and strutted a little bit after the shot.
Okay.
10-8 in favor of the West squad. She's out there. She wants to play. Give me the rock, she's saying. Here's Finley on the turnaround. Jump shot. Gets the lucky bounce. It'll drop.
She'll take it, though.
Whitaker out there for the West squad, as well as Ozamak. They're playing down low post in the paint. Hassan looking for the pass. Not all. Outside, and here's Expungane. She'll go to the rack. She drops it.
Is that a finger roll? Did I see a finger roll?
That was a nice finger roll. Finley for the West squad. Williams. She looks to drive. She thought she was going to thread the needle, but not the case.
They're playing some tough basketball here.
(12-10) in favor of the West squad. Williams coming over to confer with the coach, John Dakin. And we're going to see a foul. And there's the replay, Sandra, as we saw that foul. The East squad takes over on the transition. They're going to move it quickly down the floor. And we're going to see, here's Finley.
Oh, I think she got away with a little travel there.
Here's Nikita LaFleur. She picked it up. She's with Smith. 2-on-1. She'll go to the rack. She puts it up.
And
You
it's
gotta
good.
like Nikita LaFleur.
Okay, Dana, one thing about being a guard and seeing a post player dribbling the ball is a very scary sight.
Tell that to Shaquille O'Neal, or better still, tell that to Nikita LaFleur.
It's a good thing that court was about 2 feet longer.
Charles to Pinnock. Pinnock gonna go in. And
And
she'll
it's gonna
put it
be
up
fancy.
reverse. She's making a statement right there on that layup. That pass was intended down low post, but it went out of bounds, and the East will pick up the ball. Good look at Pinnock. Still Pinnock from Mother Teresa Catholic Secondary School in Toronto.
And no one's playing defense.
And Smith picks it up. And Sandra, you know
Uncontested
yourself
shot.
as well as I do that all-star games, it's more about offense than defense.
Absolutely.
We'll see the defense, but not enough of it. Here's Finley. She's running the offense. Expungane. Outside. Thought it was down baseline. Ball stolen away. Here's Smith. Pinnock. And that was a 3. She puts it down. So Pinnock certainly making a case here in the first half. 19-12 now in favor of the East. So we'll see this score go back and forth throughout the game. Whitaker hits the deck.
It's a really tough played game. See tenacity. I see a lot of fire in the girls' eyes. It's good to see. It's really good. good quality basketball.
That foul on Daly, that'll be her first personal foul. 11:57 left here in the first half of play. Good look at the West bench. Everybody gets a chance to play in this exciting event.
That's right, and that's another good thing about that.
And Sandra, we're just going to look at the replay of that three.
And you see how the West wasn't able to get out to her on time, which caused her to be open. I think there was a screen set on her, which didn't allow her to get out. And it might have been on her own player.
Inbounding the ball, the West has control. And here's Walter, she's outside. She plays for Donna Chambers' squad out of Martin Grove. They've been very successful over the past year. Donna Chambers also coached the squad that played against Michigan, the girls all-star team from Toronto. And were not so successful. They lost by 3 or 4 points in that game. Here's McNulty for the East squad. McNulty trying to take it to the rack. She was fouled on the play. Oh, the officials ruled that there's no foul. There's a jump ball on the play. So they'll give possession to the East squad. And it's going to go outside. Here's McNulty. Looking down low post. LaFleur puts it outside. Pinnock with the shot.
Right now they're playing a very lackadaisical man-to-man defense.
And coming up with it was Stephanie Skirba. And here's Walters on the drive. She puts it up. Skirba coming in for the rebound.
Quick.
And Walters comes out of nowhere. Take a good look at a spark plug for the West Division team.
That's exactly what that was, a spark plug.
Wow.
It's like Flash Gordon.
Well, she's saying something with the tattoo on the left arm. There's no question about it.
We're going to have to find out what that is.
Well, going outside. This was Willette with the ball. She kicked it out to Pinnock. They're relying on her three-point attempt. Didn't drop, but the key with Smith coming back, and she puts it up.
And along with being in an all-star game, you don't see any boxing out. Now that could have easily been taken by the other team if there was a simple box out.
Tanisha Smith, very focused on this game. And that pass was intended. It goes baseline and out of bounds. East will take control of the ball. We've seen some great all-star players come through the system in the years in the past. And I'm talking about players like Nastasia Subban from Etobicoke Collegiate in Toronto, or Nutashi Wilson out of Michael Power St. Joseph's, also from Toronto. But this is what it's all about today as we see the showcase of talent. And there is a lot of talent on that floor. Walters again driving to the bucket.
And it looks like she's got a first gear, a second gear, and then overdrive.
And that's about the size of it, too.
What, 4'9"?
That foul was on Tanisha Smith. It'll be a shooting foul, so Walters will go to the line. And Donna Chambers has had the luxury of Walters running the offense for the Martin Grove team over the past couple of years.
And I don't believe Donna is here, is she? Donna, she's from Birmingham. I'm trying to
From
imitate
Birmingham,
her.
England, yes. She does have international experience as a coach, predominantly from England. But she is teaching at Martin Grove Collegiate
and her first
in Toronto.
Her first game, Dana, is netball.
And as we had covered netball here on Rogers Television back in 1997.
I feel a story
with
coming.
the World Netball Championships. And Canada did not fare too much on that, or fare too well on that, because most of the true netball players were not available, and a lot of the other players certainly opt to go with the basketball game. Netball is not as popular as basketball when it comes to women's sports.
Yeah.
So here's Walters, and she had the ball stolen away. Here's Charles.
Oh, Charles just shot, just got an air ball. And that's not a good thing to do when you get off the bench, just take a long shot. It's really hard, but she did come back with the steal, so that's all good.
Furstner puts it up for the Lisa Furstner for the West Division team, but now we're going to go back and forth with the shots. Here's Walters again. Outside. As a two, there's the rebound. Skirba and Furstner right there for the rebounds. I look at Stephanie Skirva and I keep thinking, yep, got the father's eyes all the way. Definitely the father's features. And the father, by the way, does not look like he's a father. He looks more like a brother.
Well, that's all good. He's taking care of himself. He's still playing ball, right?
As we take a look at Stephanie Skirva playing down low post on the blocks. Here's Webley. She's got the ball. Walters has matched up body defense. Webley going to go to the rack. She drops it. Beautiful play by Webley.
That was a fearless move in between three people.
Good look at Webley. Monique Webley out of Pope John Paul. And there's another shot from outside by Lee.
You notice the height difference in the two teams, Dana? The West seems quite taller, yet the East is really able to run the court.
And we're going to take a look at the replay, Sandra, as we saw that last bucket. Here's Stephanie Skirva.
Yeah, she's taking it all hard. She's very confident move. Unfortunately, it didn't hit. And we've got some really good, excellent rebounding in. And then the shot goes in. She kept the ball high. Very interesting, very good note to take. Is that when she rebounded, she kept the ball high. She didn't bring it down. And when you bring it down, that's where all the guards try to get at it. She kept it up and she scored.
Beautiful look at Stephanie Skirva. And quite an article on her in BBM Magazine, Bellairs Basketball Magazine, based out of Ottawa. And you really have to credit Edison Silva and Wilfred Magambo, who have been out of their way all over the country to promote this magazine, and certainly a beautiful article on Stephanie Skirva in the magazine. Very glossy magazine, certainly pick it up. And just checking for their website, it is at www.bellairsmagazine.com, B-A-L-L-E-R-Z magazine.com. So you can't go wrong with a beautiful magazine supporting Canadian talent.
And it's very important for a magazine to be out like this because it gives exposure to them when they want to hit a university to play at. That was sweet. That was textbook.
That was a beautiful pass from Skull to Jones Dallas. 25-21 in favor of the East. And we're going to see this lead go back and forth.
Interesting to note, when Charles was dribbling the ball, she had no reason to pick it up. You either keep going to the hoop, kids, or you just bring it back out. You don't stop dribbling it unless you're dead. She created her own death, so to speak.
I like the way you put that. Samantha Skull, the 6'3" center out of Governor Simcoe High School in St. Catharines. Funny enough, her coach is also the coach of the All-Star team. Here's Walters going to the rack.
Not sure.
And we're going to see a foul called on the play. And it will be a shooting foul. Again, Tanya Walters going to the line for the West team. Hussein checks back into the game. And we're going to see the replay, Sandra.
That's incredible. That 4'9", getting through those trees, that's incredible.
Not only that, we also saw the replay, definitely on the arm. There was a hack on the arm there. And it's very tough to stop this little spark plug playing for the West Division team.
She's also very thick that she's able to get that ball in among those trees, hacking her.
Lee with the 12-foot jumper. It did not go. Skull comes up with the rebound. There's the outlet pass to Walters.
Very good decision.
Skirva out there as well. Here's Jones Dallas. Beautiful shot. All points, Sandra.
Oh, sweet.
Gotta love it.
She's a heck of a girl doing a heck of a job.
Beautiful job. And I believe she was manufactured simply to play basketball. No question. You talk to the parents.
Yeah, I know Sherry Dunn. Sherry Dunn, definitely.
Sherry Dunn, in my opinion, is one of the toughest basketball players that has ever played women's basketball.
I hated playing against her. She was so tough.
So we see 26-25 with 7:13 left.
And there she goes.
In the first half. Here's Walters.
Oh, and in gear 4. And a great rebound. Great rebound by Skull.
And
I think they're getting a little tired now. Their adrenaline's kind of wearing down.
And we are seeing some of the players who are a bit exhausted here. And there's a 3 dropped by Hussein. So certainly this is a great matchup between two of the premier guards in the country in Hussein and Walters.
Absolutely.
Daly. That pass was an errant pass. She was out of position on the play. And a couple of players that are looking to get on the same page.
As a player, when you're running on the court, Dana, you always have to be looking back. You cannot be running down the court with your back to the ball at all. My coach always said, if you see her there and you see the back to the ball, yeah, throw the ball at the back of her head. And guess what? She'll never do that again.
Nikki Lee was the intended receiver of that pass, 5'9" guard from Cedar Brae. And let's go over to Lance Wynn on the sidelines. He's got an update for us.
Thanks very much, guys. I'm here with the father of Stephanie Skirba, George Skirba, a former York alumni and teammate of mine. George, you want to just talk a little bit about where your daughter learned her game and got her skills?
I'll tell you, Lance, like, I never really thought to put her into basketball. I was too busy doing my thing and going around to different tournaments and such and playing in leagues. And I'd carry her around with me, and she'd sit in the corner and watch as Dad tried to prove he was the man, you know, like we all try and do. And one day, Art Rutledge, a guy I think you know, former president of Basketball Canada, says to me, George, you know, your daughter, she's pretty tall. Why don't you put her into basketball? And stupid me, I said, there's basketball for girls? And he said, come on, George. So I said, I looked into it, you know, and, you know, just slow and steady, you know, she progressed and got to the point where people started noticing her, you know.
Beautiful. George Skirba, father of Stephanie Skirba. Let's send it back to you guys.
Thanks very much, Lance. And you can't say enough about Stephanie Skirba and say enough about George Skirba, who's been able to guide her along the way, and look where she is now. He's one proud father.
You know what, that's interesting that he said the comment about he didn't know there was girls basketball.
Yeah.
Because I think there needs to be coverage, as much coverage for girls basketball as there is for guys.
Well, Sandra, you're going to run into all kinds of
I know.
friction, opposition, numbers, marketing numbers. There's a lot of variables to deal with. Certainly everybody wants to see women's basketball progress to where it is with the guys, but there are issues that come with that, and some involve money and some involve marketing numbers.
Right, and if you see the caliber right now, look at this caliber right now, there shouldn't be any problem with that.
No, there shouldn't, and certainly we've had this conversation in the past, and conversation off air as well. And we try not to make it political, but the fact is there is a political side to this, there's a business side to this, and those all play into the equation of making decisions about coverage of women's basketball. I'm all for supporting women's basketball. I've been involved in women's basketball for years. But certainly when it comes to men's basketball, women's basketball, right up to the WNBA and NBA level, we're seeing a difference. In the WNBA basketball, they are getting sold out houses down there. 15, 16,000 coming out to see the games down there. But when you compare the numbers to NBA basketball,
but you can't compare
it's not even close.
But NBA's been in the league for how many, almost 60 years now? 55, 60 years now? And they just started.
Again, that goes into the equation of marketing, politics, and business. As we see the ball go to the line, or go to the rack to Shawnee Higgins. And she'll go to the line with 4:59 left here in the first half. 2-point difference. The East is leading after falling apart early.
Yeah.
They've really regained composure.
They really have, and they're starting to run more and I think they're just getting the jitters out. I think that's what it was.
Here's Higgins. She'll drop the shot. And they'll go back and play half-court defense at going to be body defense, half court. They've ran that way throughout the whole course of this first half of play. There's a shot from outside, Sandra.
We've got a three-point clinic going on today, Dana.
Beautiful.
I've never seen so many three-point shot by both teams.
She's from Rajopolis, Notre Dame High School, 5', 5" guard out of Kingston. And here she is again. She's going to go up with the right hand on the drive from the left. Good look at Natal.
And no doubt you're supposed to be using your left hand on the left side. She was lucky that wasn't blocked. And that's the problem with putting up a right-handed shot on the left side. You get it blocked.
And ready to check into the game is Smith for the East squad. This is Tanisha Smith, a 5'9" guard out of Father Leo J. Austin Secondary School in the Durham region. Here's a good look at the replay, Sandra.
She's taking it tough. You can't say not all. She's just kicking butt. She's playing very confident, and when you're playing confident, the ball goes in. And she was sitting on the bench quite a bit. So
it's tough when you're going in and out of the lineup like
Yeah.
that and trying to remain high. You've got to really gear yourself up for that moment in the life.
Yeah, and she did a good job.
35-31 in favor of the East squad. 4:13 left here in the first half of play. Skull comes up with the rebound, and Tashana Higgins will bring up the ball. That pass to Stephanie Skirba. She knew that
Wasn't looking.
got to have the meat hooks ready.
Yeah.
Grip that ball.
Yeah. Especially that's her jump shot. That's her area for a jump shot. She needs to be looking. And looked like someone stranded there with the ball. Hussein's finally got it connecting to Smith.
Here's Smith. And Tashana Higgins disagrees with the foul, but she's charged with the foul. She's very, very tough defensively. Very active and intense defensively. Here's Nuttall. Pass to Hussein. Hussein with the jumper. 10-footer did not drop. Here's Smith keeping it alive. Natal comes out with the ball.
And they're still playing a man-to-man defense.
Expongene comes up with the ball on the steal. Higgins, pass to Skirba. Skirba, that's her jump shot from baseline,
That's
and
her
it
jump
drops.
shot.
Gotta love it. Stephanie Skirba. It's now a 2-point difference. Here's Hussein. Marion Hussein from Glebe High School in Ottawa. Stands 5 feet 6 inches tall, but today she's playing like she's 6'8". Good look at Skirba in your screen. Langstaff High School in the York region, north of Toronto. Here's Lafleur, another big girl in the lineup for the East. Another block. Count two.
She just timed that one. That was all too easy.
Sandra, I guess you have to say that if there's any advice you can offer to these women out on the floor is that to keep their eye on the ball at all times. Do not run your lane. Keep your eye on the ball and run your lane.
Well, the object of playing basketball is to get the ball, so I'm not sure why you'd be running down the court with your back to the basket. All right, with your back to the basketball. And it's so important for the guards to see your face to get you the ball. Or at least a hand up so that we know you're paying attention.
That was a three dropped by Melanie Willette-Charles for the East squad. So it's 38-33 in favor of the East with 2:51 left here in the first half of play. And the crowd is still filing in, getting all jacked up for the other games as well. There's a three by Hussein.
She's hot tonight. I'd like to know who's guarding her.
I think it's Tashana Higgins, but Higgins got away with a stutter step on that ball, and she knows it. She walked over to the baseline smiling on the play.
Yeah.
But you don't need to call that. Mariana Hussein, 18 points per game, 10 assists a game. She did it all for Glebe High School this year.
Okay, they're going at it now. They're going at it now.
There's Higgins. You gotta love the intensity. At some point, you gotta make a statement.
That's right. So Hussein scored. Higgins wants to score back on her, and that's what just happened right there.
Here's Higgins at the line. Looking for another 50 points like she did throughout the season.
Incredible.
And Skull will come in to replace Skirba. Samantha Skull, the albatross out of St. Catharines, Ontario. And the rebound, good rebound at
She's
that
doing some
by
excellent
McNulty.
rebounding.
Pinnock looking to drive to the rack.
I think
Offensive
there was
foul
a travel
call.
first, though.
We may have to look at the replay on that one, but Pinnock certainly charged with the offensive foul.
Because you saw the big tree, the Ent. If you watch, what's that movie called? The Towers.
The Twin Towers right
No.
there. And she ran into that wall. Offensive foul. from Mother Teresa High School here in Toronto. She's playing practically in her backyard.
Right.
Here's Skull. She goes up with
tough
the
player. Tough player, and she's like relentless.
sky hook on the play, did not drop. Coming bad is Willette Charles. Good rebound again by the West Squad. The West Squad certainly has a number of trees down low post that can pull down those rebounds.
You better.
Here's McNulty. She's with Pinnock. And Walters comes up with the stripping of the ball, but it went out of bounds, and the East will regain possession.
And at a time like that, she needs to give the ball up to the guard. At least the guard can give it back to her. You know what I'm saying?
I got it, girlfriend. Smith on the turnaround. It was an air ball, and Walters comes up with it. She's going to push the offense. She had the option. She decided to keep the ball. Fersner goes up.
I love how she keeps the ball up high. I love it. That's a coach's dream.
Fersner out of LaSalle Secondary School. Here's Charles. And she's knocked down on the play. We're going to see a foul.
You know what's interesting? I got taught when I was in university, I got taught how to do a layup using just one. Instead of taking the two-step, you take one step. That way the players can't time with the blocking, so the timing's off. That would be a good play, a good move to add to her repertoire, anyone's repertoire.
Hold on while I look that word up in the dictionary as you try and put that
it's
word
under
out.
R, Dana, R.
Stephanie Yannick Charles. She's certainly strong defensively as well as offensively, and those numbers are not a true indication of what she can do on the floor, as she just drained it at the line for the East Squad. Brianne Ozimak was the player charged with the foul for the West Squad. Finley. As the ball comes over to us, and Sandra, are you going to give it back to her? Or are you going to get out there and stretch your stuff as well?
That's a small ball. I didn't realize they're playing a small ball. I guess that's the regular size ball for them now.
Oh, let me tell you, I had a chance to see 42-36 in favor of the East Squad with 30 seconds left here in the first half of play. Here's Jones Dellis. She's got the ball. She elects to go with the jumper. It's off the glass. That's good.
Yeah, I heard her call bank.
She called it.
She called bank.
Wow. Well, that bank was just inside the three-point line. So she brought it within 4 with under 10 seconds left here in the first half of play. Outside. Pinnock hits a three.
Confident shot with only 5 seconds left.
And as we wind down the first half of play, the score is 45-38 in favor of the East Squad, as we see Pinnock going over to the bench, and she's licking her chops saying, let's not have halftime. I want to get into the second half right away. I've got the rock.
Yeah, this has been a great game to watch. This has been, I can see tenacity, you can see the eagerness to do well, and you can also feel the lightheartedness of the game too. You know, it's not too intense. They know it's an all-star game, so they're just kind of chill. So.
Derek Edwards, the head coach of the East Squad, and he enjoys a 7-point difference and lead right now. We'll be back with halftime entertainment right after this.
Where the East Rumble lead the West Rumble 45-38, and I'm standing here with the, well, we'll say founder of Phase One Productions, Wayne Dawkins, a very popular name around the GTA. Wayne, just talk a little bit about what motivated you to put together an event such as this?
Well, years ago we had a group of very talented players in our organization, Denham Brown, Kevin Messiah, Tristan Martin, and we felt that they're the kind of athletes that deserve to be put on a stage and seen by all and celebrated by our community. But you know, we needed an avenue to do that. So there was other options out there, but we just felt that if we personally did it, we would do justice to the type of athletes that you know we were grooming and developing. And the other thing for us too, we have difficulty getting funding as you know, as an inner city group, and you know, for the opportunities we're trying to create for the guys in our group, we need to be very creative in how to generate funds. So, you know, we thought, okay, well, let's celebrate our kids and see if we can raise some money.
Now, talk a little bit about, you've planned many events over the last years as far as basketball goes. Talk about what goes into the planning of something like this.
Well, a lot of hours, but I'm very fortunate because I'm surrounded by a tremendous group of volunteers, mainly kids. I'm fortunate to work at West Hills, incredible school, and the kids are great. This means so much to them to be able to build and create things, within their community. And so for me, just rallying them is not a hard thing to do. So then now it's a matter of being creative. And I think I eat, sleep, breathe basketball. So in terms of creative basketball things, I got tons of stuff in my head.
Now, we're talking about funding, and it's something that we should certainly address because, of course, there's plenty of money to go around, but it's just not always spread in the right areas. Talk about some of the other obstacles that are involved in putting on an event like this.
Well, obviously, getting the kind of corporate sponsorship to come into an event like this, surprisingly has been difficult. And even if you see the kind of turnout, you wonder why would a corporation not want to touch it. But I think a lot of it is just as an organization and just learning to become more professional, so corporations will be willing to come in and support. And the other obstacles that you face, a lot of these are inner city kids, and there's the typical challenges that go along with them in terms of finances and different things like that. So getting an opportunity to build and to create can be hampered by so many things that some of the challenges that some of these kids face.
Now, overall, we've got the Dish magazine, we've got BBM coming out. Are you happy? And of course, what you're doing and have been doing for years now, are you happy with the type of exposure that high school basketball is now getting in the GTA?
Well, this year has been really special. I was surprised as people came out from Spit DVD, BBM magazine, the Dish High School magazine. There's obviously the Rogers, Globe, the Sun. The Score. I've never had such tremendous media coverage before. It's kind of surprising. I think a lot has to do with the star power of Javon Shepherd, I'm sure. But I think it's just you persevere in anything for 5 years like we have. I think people start paying attention to you eventually.
There you have it, Wayne Dawkins, founder, and of course, as close to CEO as we can get to for Phase 1, putting on this great event. We're going to be back with more hoops action after this short break. Don't go away. Welcome back to the Rumble in the T-Dot, where the West trail the East 45-38 after one half of basketball. Lance Wynn, Dana McKeel, Sandra Hamilton, always glad to have you along with us here on the Rogers Television Network. Now, prior to this event, we just had a meeting with Wayne Dawkins, the founder of Phase 1, who put on this event. It's now time. There were plenty of festivities going on leading up to this, including a banquet last night that our own Dana McKeel attended, and he caught up with some of the recipients.
Welcome to the Armenian Center for the 5th annual Phase 1 Rumble in the T-Dot here in Scarborough out near Centennial College. We're going to talk to the athletes who are competing in the competition, see what their thoughts are about competing, as well as winning an award tonight at the banquet.
It's quite an honor, I would say, all of Canada to be Miss Canada Basketball. The name just says it all. It's an honor.
And let's talk about your being named to the team as well.
Well, top girls in Canada are coming out to compete in, 2 games for the girls, and it's, a lot of talented girls out there, and to be a part of that is just amazing.
A selection onto a team like this is always an honor. There's so many great players in our province that it's always something that you look forward to. It's a nice game. And
tell us about being named to the getting an award. How do you feel about that?
Awards are always fun. you always like them, but it's an honor, I think, out of this province to be selected as Miss Basketball Ontario out of all these kids and all these girls. It's something that I take great pride in.
Well, it's a big honor to be named, one of the top players in this province. And I just like the way, everything's really professional this year. And everything's, really organized. Everything's cool. And you guys are here, so it's cool, too.
Tell me your thoughts on being named to the team to compete.
My thoughts, surprised, happy, and just ready to play.
And tell us your thoughts about being named as an award winner as well. How do you feel?
I feel great, I feel like, people are looking up to me now and stuff like that.
Javon, tell us how you feel about being named to the team.
I feel it's good. It's a big game, A lot of big name players have played in it before, so it's a good accomplishment.
It's a big honor to be named to an all-star team, especially one of this caliber. There's great players from the East and the West, and it should be a really fun game, and I'm just honored.
And tell us about being named as an award winner and your thoughts on that.
Another big honor, and I'm proud to win it. And
Phase 1 has done their job as far as development goes with basketball players in Toronto and across Canada via CIS or NCAA basketball competition. Ultimately, it's the NBA. That's the dream. Join us after the break as we go into second half action with Rumble in the T-Dot.
Welcome back to the Progress Campus here at Centennial College, where it's 45-38 in favor of the East Rumble. We're going to take it now to Dana and Sandra for some first half analysis, guys.
Thanks very much, Lance, as we get set and underway here for second half action. And Sandra, let's take a look at some of the footage that we've accumulated over the first half. We've seen some great plays, and particularly at the guard position between Hussein from the East and Walters of the West.
It's some amazing basketball handle showing. They're showing a great amount of confidence. It's just excellent what we're seeing. And it's
taking a look at some of the forwards that are getting a good shot at playing down low post in the paint as well. We expect a lot from Skirba and players like that. Skull, another player from St. Catharines.
That's right, and it's good that the players know their range, and that's really important, and they know what their duties are as well, and they know what they do well.
Yeah.
And if they shoot well, they do that. If they're able to post up, they do that, and that's what we're seeing right now, and this is why this game is so exciting.
And looking at Tanya Walters there as she drove to the bucket, Stephanie Skirba has found her range around the 10-foot area, around that paint area, and being able to put up that shot predominantly from that baseline area.
That's right, and again, she's shooting with a lot of confidence. She knows what her range is, and she's shooting. And when the other players see that she's got confidence and she's hitting her shots, she's going to keep getting that ball in there. And
looking at the coaches as well, you know, an all-star game, I think the best thing that the coaches want to do is be able to get this out. So I'll tell you what, let's go back into game action. We're going to get back into the game, and we've got to shut off the lights and get back into game action because the game is now underway. So there you go. I don't think the official paid any attention to us whatsoever. And this is a memorable moment. I can certainly sense that. As we're now back into game action and game underway. We'll have to chat with the officials about TV timeouts and TV halftimes, that's for sure. I don't think they're still used to that sort of thing yet. The West has got the ball. They're looking down low post.
That was a beautiful post up.
And that pass was intended for Samantha Skull. Here's Tashana Higgins. She'll take the jumper from 20 feet out. It did not drop. Here's Walters, and she'll drop it from
uncontested
10 feet
too.
out. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. As we take a look at Tanya Walters coming back to play defensively as well. Here's Hussein on the drive, and she'll put it up off the glass. She's a heartthrob from Ottawa, and she's doing a real good job here today. Outside jumper. It's the same five that started the game for the West Division, including Chanel Jones-Dellis. And pushing the ball for the East was Daly. But here's a three.
Anna was contested. She's in the zone.
Nuttall with three. You can't argue with a shot like that, and now it's 50-42 in favor of the East.
I believe that's her third three-pointer, and that's off the bench.
And keep in mind, ladies and gentlemen, that they opted not to go with a statistical printout here during the game, so we don't get an update an update on stats throughout the game. Probably best for an all-star game like this. Don't worry about the stats.
Except if you're one of the players.
Well, yeah, exactly. You want to showcase your skills to all the different universities who are represented here today, not only from Canada, but from the States as well.
That's right, and it's interesting that the Americans are coming up here to recruit talent.
Big time. Big time.
We've got some good talent here.
And and it's funny that you mentioned that. Jason Paul of the Toronto Sun put out 2 beautiful reports, NCAA watch reports, predominantly with girls coming from the Ontario region. And it's upwards of 50 girls alone that have acquired scholarships as we take a look at the replay there with Nuttall off the glass.
Got to kiss off the glass, and those are the best shots. Especially when you use that rectangle on the glass. That's what the rectangle's for. You try to hit the upper corner of the paint up there, and usually the ball goes right in there.
Here's Walters with the ball, and as we were commenting, Sandra, about the amount of talent that's playing south of the border, there's Jones Dellis with the shot. It did not drop. But we're looking at players like Shelly Johnson from Amherstburg down near Windsor. She's a senior player. Looking at players like the Tatum sisters, Alicia Tatum and Tamara Tatum out of Brampton. They played at Chinguacousy, now at Massachusetts. One's a freshman, the other's a sophomore this year. Katie Donovan from Illinois State out of Kingston, Ontario. Kingston produced some great female basketball players.
I'd like to know if that's the largest amount of people that have ever been in the States from Canada.
I believe it is. I don't think that we've never had a chance to see this many female basketball players, and this is just from Ontario.
And just
So imagine what it is with the entire country. Here's Jones Dellis. She's like a horse going down the lane, and there's the bucket for the West Division team.
At halftime, I had a chance to speak with Willie D, and he was telling me that was Chanel. I go, what do you mean Chanel? Chanel! I've known Chanel since she's about 3 or 4 years old. No, I'm lying. Maybe about 8?
Yeah.
I don't know, but I remember this cute little thing.
Oh, yeah.
And
that cute little thing out there now is a terror.
Yeah.
Here's Walters with the ball. And there's going to be a foul called on the play.
And interestingly enough, she did not have enough time to move out of the way because she was moving so fast.
Unbelievable. Lacey McNulty, a 6'2" forward out of Moira High School in Belleville. And there's been a timeout called. That'll be a bench timeout. As we see 16:42 left here in the second half of play. 55-44 in favor of the East Division team. Dana McKeel with Sandra Hamilton and Lance Wynn bringing you the best of basketball that the T-Dot has to offer. As a matter of fact, Canada has to offer with the wealth of talent that's being put out here today at Centennial College in Toronto.
I can't imagine these coaches, how much they're just salivating, how much this could be a real team, like if everyone lived in Toronto area. Can you imagine how amazing these teams would be?
Unbelievable as we see the shot drop. And here's Walters at the line. She'll be shooting 2 for the West Division team. Tanya Walters really making a statement here today. She was the MVP of the London tournament that Martin Grove attended.
She's certainly shown that height does not make a difference in this game.
And you know what? And that's certainly the case. You look at our media basketball team and Darren Thomas. We list him at 5'6". He's more like 5'2". And the thing is that he still gets his points. He's still putting up 30, 35, 40 points a game.
Yeah, it's kind of like Lance. Lance, that'd be 0-3.
Yeah. And the fact is that Darren's been like that and has had to deal with that his whole life. That when he played with those OFSA championship teams with Runnymede and later with Simon Fraser University in the NAIA, that height did not make a difference to him.
And it's also interesting that when you're that small, then they're always taking you for granted that you're not going to be able to do anything. And you kind of get an advantage that way.
Well, as we see the ball being inbounded by the East Division squad, and there's been a change in the lineups. Walters will come off, so will Jones Dellis. Rianne Ozimak is back into the lineup for the West Division, but We're going to see McNulty out there as well as Smith. We'll let Charles. And we're going to see a foul on the play as well.
And there's no way they're letting her go in their house.
No. And
no way.
Oh, yeah, and it is their house.
Oh, absolutely.
Nikki Lee out there as well, the 5'9" guard from Cedar Brae Collegiate. Foul on the play. Higgins will go to the line for the West Division team.
She's not getting enough. She's not getting enough momentum. She needs to use her legs more. Let's see if she makes the adjustment.
Those braids are rather tight.
She made the adjustment.
And there's the
She
adjustment.
went a little deeper on her knees, bending.
57-46 in favor of the East.
Oh, no foul call.
Outside. We take a look at another foul, and that foul is going to go against the West. Julia Finley, the 6-foot forward out of St. Mary's, charged with the foul. And taking a seat on the bench for the East Division team is Nia Daly from the Patterson School in North Carolina. 5'10" guard. She plays like a forward, though.
Yeah, she does. But that's all good.
Ozamon off the glass. Scrambling for the ball. It goes out of bounds.
Gotta love Skull. She's always relentless in there. She was so tenacious. She wasn't giving up.
And Pinnock in there as well on the play. Here's
And
Skull
she's up,
with the jumper.
keeping the ball up high. Love it. Can't say enough about that.
Nice form by Samantha Skull from St. Catharines, Ontario. Here's Pinnock. Looking to drive with the ball. The ball was stolen away by Stephanie Skirba, but there's a whistle on the play. That foul's going to go against Tashana Higgins. And the ball will be taken out of bounds. There's a good look at the West Division bench. Tamika Nurse on the bench, and she's injured. So she won't be playing in any games soon, but she will be prepared when she goes to Oregon.
And that's important. She needs to be ready when she goes back.
Little note about Tamika Nurse in that her relative is Donovan McNabb, who is the quarterback with the Philadelphia Eagles of the NFL.
Yeah, she's a sister-in-law.
Stephanie Skirba. Can't say enough about Skirba out on the floor right now. She leads by example. Here's Pinnock. And again, like that little crossover that she gave, it was almost like a phantom crossover, and tried to go up with the left.
Yeah, the phantom crossovers work, especially when you get them out of where they think you're going, and then you go the other way. So often I see a lot of kids, they do the fake, and after they beat the player, they let the player recover, and they keep playing. And they don't understand what they've done. They just know that it's a fancy move.
Firstner will sub in for Skull. And here's Tanisha Smith. Tanisha Smith out of Father Leo J. Austin Catholic Secondary School in the Durham region. And she's put them on the map today. Leo Austin has always had competitive basketball teams, and they've always challenged at the OFSA level. Here's Skirba going
Nice
to the
block
rack.
from McNulty.
She had the ball stripped away, and I think it was McNulty that, Sandra, as you identified. Not too often you see that happen. Williams checking back into the game for the West team. Higgins will inbound.
It's interesting that they haven't had any changes of defense.
A lot of height out on the floor for the West team. Not one girl is under 6 foot except for Tashana Higgins.
Dana, that would dwarf you, wouldn't it?
For Derek Edwards, that's a challenge. How do you match up with this chess match of a game? That's a three-point attempt by Pinnock, and here comes Higgins and the West team.
Oh.
Higgins looking to drive to the bucket. She lost control of the ball.
I think she was going a little too fast, and she could have looked up a little bit more, or she could have stopped and popped the shot.
Pinnock goes to the rack. The guards for both teams, Sandra, and I'm going to appeal to you on this. They've got to identify with the forwards and utilize the weapons that are down low post. Driving to the bucket all the time is not going to accomplish a lot.
And in fact, it's going to take the forwards out of the game. The forwards are going to stop playing, and when they need them to rebound, they're not going to be there for it because they're going to be so frustrated that they're just going to pack it in.
Now, I certainly understand the idea of driving to the bucket, driving the foul, and trying to receive that foul, but But the fact of the matter is, when you have that many weapons out on the floor, pull it back.
Yeah.
Pass the ball, look for the opportunity, and if it's there, take it.
Absolutely. And you gotta rely on your teammates to give you back the ball if you're a shooter. You gotta have confidence in that.
Oh yeah, as we're gonna see more wholesale changes for both East and West. Williams will remain on the floor, as well as Higgins and Skirba. Firstner playing down low post for the West team. For the East squad, Nikki Lee at the line, Tanisha Smith out there as well. And there's a bit of a press being put on by the East squad. Ball almost stolen away.
Skirba didn't seem to be really lunging for that ball. Maybe she's getting tired.
Charles for the East squad, and Sandra, that could be the case with 13:40 left in the game and the East leading by 10.
I don't think she's come off the court though.
There's Webley. She should be tired just from the halftime performance.
Yeah.
She performed it.
Okay, now if the ball goes off the side of the structure, is that not out of bounds?
No, that's all part of the.
Like just the edge. It just went off the edge.
Oh, that's still in play, isn't it?
Well, they called it as in play, but I was familiar with if it goes off at the side of the hoop, that it's out of bounds.
I'll have to. We'll have to check the replay on that one, but here's LaFleur from the line. Good rebound by a solid player in Whitaker from the West. As Dominica Whitaker from Our Lady of Mount Carmel, she stands 6'3", and that's just measuring height. To Shauna Higgins. She's getting ample time to play today, that's for sure, and she knows how to run an offense. 2 50-point games to her credit this past season, playing with Nelson A. Boylan in Toronto.
What was the points total in that game that she scored 50?
Probably up in the 60s or 70s. She accumulated upwards of 60 and 70% of the team's totals.
Oh, I see.
So talking about that kind of situation, there's a girl on the rise who currently is training with the Canadian National Basketball Program, and I saw her at Ryerson University. The daughter of famed basketball star Joe Alexander, one of the most dominant basketball players to ever play in Canada. And she now stands at 6 feet 4 inches tall, and Kayla Alexander, and a little story to that, in that she scored 33 points in a 33-18 win for Andrew Hunter Public School in their region championship up in Barrie.
Amazing.
Unbelievable.
But unfortunately, that can't continue to happen, or else their players are just going to fold and not want to play anymore.
Exactly.
Of course, unless they like watching her score.
Webley with a layup. Continues with the 10-point lead for the East Division with 12:23 left in the game. Here's Walters. Outside, Charles is matched up against her, but the East has gone to a body defense. Here's Walters with the jumper from baseline. Did not drop. Whitaker with the rebound. She'll go up again.
She's going up tough.
And second time around is just what it takes.
So often when the big players get the ball inside, they put the ball down on the ground and dribble it. That's great that she did that.
Skirba looking to pass the ball outside to Walters, but again, that East Division with their defense, that perimeter defense that they've been playing has been very solid here in the second half.
Certainly has, and it's been made for a very exciting game, and we're going to have a platoon of players.
I believe the theatrics are yet to come as we see Skull again positioning herself down low post in the paint. And a whistle's blowing on the play. We're going to see a timeout. And both coaches want to talk it over, Sandra, with 11:46 left in the game and a 6-point difference. And let's take a look at some of our award winners from the banquet. There they are right there, Sandra, as we take a look at all the different award winners. And you can anybody who knows basketball knows every one of those names.
We didn't go over them, Mr. Basketball, did we? We're talking a lot about Miss Basketball, but we didn't do Mr.
Tom Spirinello as well. John Dakin from the Governor Simcoe Redcoats. And there's our award winners as you see them. Angel Rogue, Tanya Walters, best passer. Kalisha Keene in the Rising Girls category. And she plays with the Canadian Junior National team, as a matter of fact, as well as Stephanie Skirva. See a lot of good female talent out on the floor. And that Rising Stars competition that they had earlier in the day certainly makes a statement as well. There's a lot of statements being made today.
With exclamation marks at the end.
Oh, yeah. There's a foul on the play as, again, Walters right in the mix of everything.
Yeah, she's not stopping for anything.
That foul is going to go against Lacey McNulty, the 6'2" forward out of Moira High School in Belleville. There's a nice town, Sandra. You're from Sudbury. That's a nice looking town.
It's very, you know, it's a nicer looking town in the summertime.
Yes.
In the wintertime, exactly. You can't see the town.
No.
It's just white.
But you really have to admire the various towns and cities that these players come from and what they have to do in order to get better and play against better competition. You have to travel halfway across the country to do it.
Or you play with guys.
Or you play with the guys, as you know.
Yep.
You played against your brothers. That was a war in itself.
Oh, yeah. Black eyes, fat lips.
No blood, no foul. The old cliche and very true.
Get up, bleeding. Get up.
Jones Dallas with the shot. Here's Daly on the layup, and
she
missed with the left-handed layup. She's got a smile. At least she put it in perspective and realized that she won't be doing that when she goes on to play scholarship basketball.
No, that's for sure.
As most of these girls are planning on doing, or if not doing already. Here's McNulty from outside. That was a three-point attempt. It was an air ball up off the glass.
That was uncharacteristic of her, though. She's usually in those.
And the ball goes out of bounds. And it will be East Division ball. Here's Nuttall.
She should not be shooting uncontested shots.
Outside, Hussein. She'll run the offense.
Let's see what she does.
She's the second coming of Mariah Trowell, the star player out of Ottawa.
That's right.
Hussein.
They're trying to run something. I'm not sure what it is.
It's a setup for Hussein as she drops it. That was a three.
A three.
I don't think that was in the offering. As I look at Derek Edwards, the coach of the East team, and I think he had a different play design. And he's got a smile on his face as well because he knows it was true. 67-56 for the East squad. 9:41 left in the game and a foul on the play.
I haven't seen this caliber of basketball in a very long time, David. So it's interesting that that you got to get a group of girls from around Canada to see this.
Good look at Whitaker as she comes off. It goes to the bench. 6'3" forward from Mount Carmel. That's in the Peel region. And again, a sellout crowd here at Centennial College. Full house. And I think they've got standing room only outside.
And it's definitely at capacity.
Great play by McNulty as she put it hard off the glass. 13-point difference for the East squad. It didn't look that way in the early going of the game, Sandra. We thought the West squad was going to be a runaway.
Right. It looks very lopsided at the beginning. That's a difficult pass to make because she's not paying attention and she's not alert when she's cutting through that, and she's not used to playing with Walters to get a pass like that.
Well, that's the thing. Familiarity with the players and being out on the floor in an all-star game, that's always tough.
Yeah.
Always tough. As we see Tanisha Smith check back into the game, as well as Willette Charles, who's back into the game as well for the East squad. Here's Hussein. West is going with a body matchup, half court, and a great matchup with Hussein.
Sweet pass, but she couldn't catch it.
And it was a beautiful pass. And there's another nice pass as she spots up, and Daly puts it up. A beautiful pass by Hussein. So we're looking at some great players here out on the floor for the East squad who are making it happen. The chemistry is certainly there. Hussein finding the range.
And
she lost control of the ball, but there's Daly. Here's McNulty. She puts it up off the glass.
Pass by Daly.
McNulty really coming on strong here in the second half.
That was a very good connection.
Good look at Lacey McNulty from Moira High School in Belleville. And there's a good look at her right now. A 6'2" forward. You can't say enough about Lacey McNulty. We'll have to discuss our player of the game, Sandra, in much more detail.
Yes, because we don't have the stats.
Well, we don't have the stats, but certainly players that have made a statement. Let's go down to Lance Wynn, who's on the sideline. Go ahead, Lance.
Thanks very much, guys. I'm here with Sam Hill, the legendary Sam Hill, who's played many a basketball game in GTA. He's now the publisher of the Dish magazine, the Dish written by the students for the students. Sam, we just want to ask you, what inspired you to start a magazine like this?
Guys like you, Lance. No, you know, when I was playing ball, when we were back in high school, I used to walk around and carry around the Basketball Weekly, which I thought, you know, it'd be nice if the high school kids in Toronto had something like this. And when I started following ball, when I came back here in '98, I saw that they still didn't have anything to read or, you know, kind of connect the basketball community in the high schools. So I went to the Toronto District School Board and asked them if they'd be willing to distribute something like this in their schools, and they were all over it. And kind of went from March 2004 when the idea was spawned, and in November we were in the schools. So
fabulous, legendary Sam Hill, publisher of the Dish magazine. Back to you guys.
Thanks very much, Lance. And you can't say enough about Sam Hill, who played on some very illustrious basketball teams at Jarvis Collegiate in Toronto, was a Metro High School All-Star player who had a dunk in the game at York University that is still talked about to this day. So you can't say enough about Sam Hill, that's for sure.
It's a tough move by McNulty just then. She had a great rebound and she put it up. And incidentally, was the phrase "what in the Sam Hill" derived from his game?
Sam
his
Hill?
Playing game? His game playing.
Yeah.
How about that? You know the saying, "What in the Sam Hill"?
Yes.
Are you with me, Dana?
I am now.
Okay.
I'm on the same page. Yeah.
But different book.
It is a different book, no question. Walters at the line for the West, and they've got to really step it up with 7:16 left on the game clock, and they're down by 19. The West, or the East Division, has really come on strong here in the second half of play.
Yeah, they certainly turned it up, especially being as their squad is so much smaller than the other squad. Like, you'd think just on paper that they'd be getting kicked, but no, that's not the...
Good look at Deshauna Higgins as she went to the rack on the play, or Tanya Walters, pardon me, but she hasn't had a whole lot of success here in the second half. It's been about the East. Here's McNulty with a rebound, offensive rebound, and she's playing strong basketball. Here's Smith, Tanisha Smith. She looked to put up a reverse, but it did not work. There's Charles with a cross-court pass. That was a rainbow pass. Here's McNulty, matched up against Ozamok. And Williams comes up with the ball. Danielle Williams from St. Joseph's College.
A little too overzealous pass. I saw where she's going with that, but it was just a little too hard for someone who's not experienced with playing with her. I should qualify that.
Danielle Williams from St. Joseph's College, as we get a good chance to see her matched up against Pinnock, and Pinnock with the grapevine through the legs. There's a shot that was put up. It did not drop by Charles.
She's having a hard time this half.
Not a strong game for Charles. She's put up better performances in the past. But here she is with the ball right now, and she's looking to call, as the East Division team is looking to call timeout. It'll be a 30-second timeout with 6:05 left here in the game. 75-60 in favor of the East team. And again, I'm going to go to our roster of Ontario Report players, the NCAA Watch, and that includes players like Charisse Richards out of Toronto, a freshman player at Nicholls State. Looking at girls like Carrie James out of Mississauga, who's playing at Kent State, or Jessie Blunt. And she's playing quite well, and playing at Moorhead State, or Jen Perugini And she's averaging 14 points a game. She's at Youngstown State. She's at Sault Ste. Marie. You got to like Shauna Thorburn, who also plays with the Canadian National Program. 15 points a game, and she's with Utah.
It's amazing to see all the talent that's just dispersed. Hope to see them on the national teams.
And Williams lost control of the ball. Here's Charles going to the rack.
It was a nice block. No
and
foul
it was all
called.
ball on the play as we take a look at the replay. And Derek Edwards wants to check it over with the body, but we've been able to see this through the monitor. No body. Finley.
That was the slowest turnaround move I've seen in my life.
Skull. Smith comes up with the ball, but Skull and Azamak was right there as well as Williams. There's the replay as we take a look at
yeah, it was all ball.
It was all ball. There was no body, not even close.
Yeah. But she does deserve the Oscar for that.
As we see Webley, who's going to be checking into the game for the East team. And Tanisha Smith will be at the line for the East squad. And Webley will go in and sub in for Willette Charles, who will come out of the game as well. Here's Smith. Good look at Tanisha Smith of the East squad. You got to like the way that she's played this game here in the second half as well. She's really contributed.
From Little O Whitby.
MVP of the Eastern Commerce Tournament as we take a look at her bio.
And stealing a rejection.
This is a great matchup watching Charles and Tanya Walters. And watch Walters come back defensively. Look at that. This is an all-star game. She's playing like it's the championship game.
Okay, I've never had a burn on my arm, but I think she's going to be nursing one tonight.
Wow.
What tenacity.
As long as it doesn't affect the tattoo. As long as it doesn't affect the tattoo, she'll be fine. But you have to admire her racing back defensively after coughing up the ball. Webley going to the bucket. She fouled on the play. And there's a good look at the replay.
Wow. That looked like it hurt too. Coaches love that. I love that. When I'm coaching, I love to see that.
That's a lot of blood, sweat, and tears on the floor for the East squad.
A lot of skin.
Or for the West squad. Here's Smith on the turnaround. And again, McNulty. And there's no question about it. Lacey McNulty, certainly a nominee for the MVP of the game.
I would say too. Walters, McNulty.
And Higgins drops it for the West, 79-64 with 5 minutes left in the game.
Skirpa's been really quiet in the last few minutes.
Haven't heard too much from Stephanie Skirba. It's been predominantly the guards that have been running the show, except that you're seeing some strong play down low post, particularly from Lacey McNulty.
This is her second steal of the half by Charles.
And here's Walters.
Fourth gear right now.
And she'll go to the rack. She did not look to see on her side was Stephanie Skirba. And when she's going to the rack, I guess she was looking to draw the foul, but that's not going to happen. There's a foul against the West.
And she should be looking to draw the foul because she's already so small. Like they don't have to do very much for her to fall down and the ref not call it. She just needs to go tough.
The laws of physics are against her when she's going up against a wall like that. Stephanie Skirba at 6 feet 2 inches tall, just on her right. Should certainly see the ball when you're going up in a situation like that.
Yeah, she'd be a very frustrating player to play against. I would hate to guard her.
Here's Monique Webley, average 20 points per game, 8 assists per game. She's at the line for the East squad.
I don't even know if she's as long as my legs.
You're
she's
very
as
tall,
as the length of my legs.
In fact, you had a chance to showcase those legs in our Sport Media basketball game against Jarvis Collegiate, dropping 17 points.
It's 19, Dana, but who's counting?
Sorry about that.
You can't
check my
chase me
stat
like that.
sheets again.
You might want to double check with Lance for the correct point.
And that was a 2. That was a 2 dropped. Or a 3, pardon me. That was a 3 dropped. I'm just looking at the scoreboard as they were putting it up. And 83-67 now with 4 minutes left here in the game. Here's Jones Dellis.
Nice crossover.
Looks to pass outside. No, she'll take the jump shot. Just banged off the rim, and here's McNulty with another rebound.
What she didn't do was rebound her shot.
And Walters goes flying into the crowd, wiping out half the volunteers in her way, especially the girl with the pizza and the pop.
You know what? I don't think she should have stopped for that pizza and the pop, though. Not very professional.
Well, let me tell you. Let me tell you.
We're just kidding, folks. She didn't have anything to eat over there.
And she still protected her food despite the fact she's got 5 feet 4 inches or 5 feet 3 inches of pure fury coming at her.
She's not that tall.
4'10" more like it. I think they're really boosting up those numbers there. 3:41 left in the game, 83-67 in favor of the East. And there's a good look at Tamika Nurse and the head coach of the West squad. Let me get my facts straight here. John Dakin from Governor Simcoe High School in St. Catharines. Daly, Webley, LaFleur, Lee, and Nuttall will be out there. Webley will be replaced by Hussein with 3:41 left in the game. Jones Dellis, Walters, Skull, Higgins, and Skirba are out on the floor for the West squad. Nice screen set by Skirba.
That was great defense. Once you pick the ball up and you're dead, you need to be right on the player.
And right on the mark was Samantha Skull as she dropped that jumper from baseline. And here's Hussein with the ball. Again, that phenomenal matchup between Tanya Walters and Hussein from the East.
And no one called a screen on that one on Walters, for Walters. And that's very frustrating, especially when she's working so hard. A screen just takes you out, takes a lot of energy to get around it, especially when you don't know it's there.
Marion Hussein is out there and has certainly proved herself very well today here in this All-Star game. Here's Hussein from outside. That pass thrown away. That was intended for Daly, but Hussein, though, putting up a no-look pass just out of reach of Daly.
Yeah, that's hard to do no-look passes when people are not experienced playing with you.
Here's Walters. Skull cuts down the lane. She'll go low post. Skirba looking for the ball. She didn't see it. Here's Jones Dellis on the drive. She'll put it up off the glass for 2. 83-71 with 2:25 left here in the game. Whoa. Nice move by Hussein.
Showcasing her talent. That was an excellent hustle by Daly.
Dropped outside.
Again, Nuttall.
And Nuttall really making a point here in the latter stages of this game. Here's Walters. Skirba. She'll take it up off the glass for 2.
Strong and confident.
As we see Nuttall, and that pass was thrown away. Higgins comes up with it, and here's Jones Dellis looking to pass the ball to Samantha Skull. It was intercepted. Ball goes out of bounds. It'll be a West ball, and the West is also going to sub in wholesale. As we take a look at our MVP selections, and Sandra, I'm going to go to you for those selections as they've just been declared.
Now it looks like Hussein's going to be getting the MVP award of the game with 19 points, and Marianne Dellis, and we're going to be giving a.
It'll be Chanel Jones Dellis from the West team with the MVP award. She's got 19 points so far in the game. And as well for the East division, or East team, it will be Marion Hussein, who also has 19 points to this point in the game with a little under a minute left. She has been selected as the game MVP, as a matter of fact. Marion Hussein. And you can't argue with those selections, Sandra, because the numbers do the talking, but you also have to acknowledge a couple other players, certainly nominees for those awards.
That's right.
Lacey McNulty being from the East squad, and Tashana Higgins from the West.
Absolutely, and everyone's played a really, really good game, and as it were, it's very difficult to distinguish who should be MVP, especially being as Marianne, Chanel, and Hussein have the same amount of points.
Certainly, Marion Hussein plays a very strong game on the floor. There's no lack of confidence when it comes to her on the floor and off the floor. And she will be selected as the game MVP for this Rumble in the T-Dot Challenge, the 5th annual event. Here's Webley. Pinnock out there as well as Charles. Willette Charles is out there.
Walters can get up.
Here's Pinnock looking to pass the ball. Outside, that was a 3. Just off the rim, and here comes the West team. Brianne Ozamok looking to go to the rack. She's fouled on the play.
What she could have done, she could have stayed her ground, fake, put the ball up, and tried to get the ball in. But she missed out on 2 points.
Ozamok from St. Joseph College. Big girl in the paint for the West team.
Good to see that the centers are hitting their shots.
Ozamok at the line.
A little too late, but this all goes with experience.
She'll drop it with 29 seconds left on the game clock, and the East leading by 11. It's been a great game for the East squad, especially in the second half. The same intensity was not brought into the second half by the West team.
West, absolutely. I don't know what was happening there. Maybe they didn't get a good pep speech, although they don't really need it. There should be an intrinsic thing, right?
Yep.
They didn't come out with all the barrels full, and the East certainly did.
We're going to see another foul on the play. The bucket will drop, and that foul is going to go against Lisa Firstner from the West, as we'll see Tanisha Smith at the line.
And the East has another chance of gaining more points. With 10 seconds left on the clock.
And Smith will drop it with just under 6 seconds left in the game. The game winds down as Ozamok goes up with the left hand. We'll see a foul called on the play. And Sandra, again, we have to look at the 2 MVPs, the selections for the MVP awards, and that being Chanel Jones-Dellis for the West squad, Marion Hussein for the East squad, with Hussein winning the MVP award.
19 points each.
19 points, no question about it for both. And for the proud parents of Chanel Jones-Dellis, with Sherry Dunn and Willie, can't say enough about their daughter. I always believed that she was manufactured simply to play basketball.
Absolutely, she's doing weights at a young age.
Oh yeah.
Calisthenics and yoga.
And learning how to be rough.
Absolutely.
And I look to the mother for that. We'll be back with more of the T-Dot, Rumble in the T-Dot here on Rogers Television right after this.
With the Western Rumble MVP, Chanel Dallas Jones, of course, daughter of the famous Willie Dallas Jones, or Willie Dallas, or Willie D. Call it what you like. Chanel, just talk a little bit about what kind of honor it is to be selected to play on a team like this.
It's a great honor, actually, and I was really happy that I was chosen to play, because last year I was chosen, but I wasn't able to play due to prior commitments, so it's really fun, too, so I enjoyed it a lot.
So now talk to me a little bit about, now you're playing with some of the girls I'm sure you played hard against during the regular season and during OFSA and so on. What's it like? What's the camaraderie like getting along with someone who's now used to be your opponent is now your teammate?
Well, it's all good and fun, right? So we joke about a lot of games that we played and everything, so it's fun on the bench and as well on the court, so I like it.
So talk a little bit about your future plans, where you're heading, and what you got to look forward to come September.
Well, I'm trying to go to the States. I haven't decided what school I want to go to yet, but I'll be making my decision soon.
And who's in the running?
There's Akron, Alabama, Buffalo, and Kent State.
Sounds good. There you have it. Chanel Dallas Jones, the Western MVP. Lots more when we come back after this short break. Don't go away. In favor of the Eastern Rumble, and I'm here with the East Rumble MVP, Marion Hussein. Marion, 19 points. Talk a little bit about your performance today.
I don't know. I was trying to get everybody involved, but I got myself going early, and I tried to get everybody involved afterwards. That's why I slowed down in the second half.
So now what's it like getting named to an all-star team like this and playing with some of the people that you actually played against during the regular season?
It feels great. I don't know what else to say.
Well, talk a little bit about what plans you've got for September now. You're working on your game in the summer months. What do you got to look forward to come September?
One at a time. Hopefully sign to Div 1 school in the States and just show my game, basically.
There you have it. Marion Hussein, MVP for the Eastern Rumble. We'll be back with more after this short break. Don't go away.
First one up. Let's go.